In sports betting, timing is everything. That's why Thursday mornings start right here on Sports Radio KFH. We're teaming up with BetMGM host Pat Boyle, bringing you direct access to the ultimate betting insider on Sports Daily. Whether you're looking for early line movement, player props, or sharp game day picks, Pat's got you covered. Work the odds like a pro. Tune in to Pat Boyle every Thursday morning with Sports Daily on Sports Radio KFH.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline, we warehouse for you.
At Allstate, we know second chances are important to you, so they're important to us. That's why with Allstate's accident forgiveness, your rate won't go up just because of an accident, even if it was your fault. So while you might find yourself wondering, how long will this take or what will this cost? You won't have to question your rate after an accident. If it's important to you, it's important to us. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Optional policy feature terms apply. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Labor Day deals are looking good at Lowe's. Save $10 on 1-gallon cans and $50 on 5-gallon pails of select interior paint via rebate. Plus, get 2 2.5-quart or 3-quart mums for just $8. A fresh look and savings? Even better. Labor Day deals are on now at Lowe's, in-store and online. Valid through 9/9. While supplies last. Mum sizes vary by location and exclude Alaska and Hawaii. See store at Lowe's.com for more details.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrecht. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily, coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. Watch for construction on I-135 in both directions between 21st and 37th Streets. Expect random ramp and lane closures. And there's also road work on Southeast Boulevard northbound at 31st Street. And it's causing a brief delay. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather.
Good morning. Mostly sunny, not as hot nor as humid as what we had on Wednesday. A high of 93, northeast wind 5 to 15. Becoming partly cloudy tonight. May see a shower or storm well west of Wichita, but most will stay dry. 66 is the low. Becoming sunny, a little hotter on Friday, 96. And here we go again this weekend. Sunshine, wind, and highs both Saturday and Sunday above 100 degrees. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Don Bigger, American Legion Post 4. We're signing up teams and sponsors for our 3rd annual golf tournament to be held on October 15th, Sand Creek Station in Newton, Kansas. This year we're planning for the Kansas Honor Flight. Sign up on our Facebook page, American Legion Post 4, or contact me at dbigger@cox.net. Thank you, and we're glad that Odyssey serves.
This is 97.5 and 1240 KFH, Wichita, K248CY Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrecht. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily, coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Hola, amigos. Brad Evans here to help you do the noise with Westwood One Sports. Bear down, Chicago. Caleb Williams is about to reset the franchise record books. No passer in team history has thrown for 4,000 yards in a season until now. If Williams displays better overall touch, he tops the high bar. Give me the over 3,600.5. Williams pass yards at -120. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The NFL is doing away with the Pro Bowl. Thank God. They still will have Pro Bowl selections, but the game is going away. And for the first time in like 20 years, that means the Pro Bowl actually means something. All the selections will be earned and not just given to guys who were the sixth choice in their conference and only got the selection because the five guys in front of them had no interest in playing flag football. It's a good move for the NFL. I'm Dan Day.
You gotta download the app.
Gotta get the Odyssey app. 97.5 and 1240 KFH. Listen live on the Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such nature films as Earwigs, Ooh, and Man vs. Nature, The Road to Victory.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
You seem to know all the players in this poorly acted farce. What do they call that one?
Jacob Albrock.
Thank you. When the world is mine, your death shall be quick and painless.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Not sure what I'm supposed to imply from that. Mr. Max Power getting the intros and opens ready to rock and roll for us. It is Sports Daily, the next 3 hours live here on KFH, 97.5 FM, 1240 AM, and we are ready to roll, joined by Brady Bowman today, and we're jam-packed. Brady, we've got Kevin Saul coming up, Wichita State Athletic Director. A little bit later in this hour, we'll get the very latest on Kenyon Giles. What's happening with the court cases around the country. We see the Big 12 put pen to paper last night and follow suit to the Big 10 and the SEC as expected. What does that mean for Kansas State? We'll get into all of it. Speaking of K-State, Tim Fitzgerald will join our KState Insider. Go powercat.com. That's coming up in the second hour. And in hour number 3, our first visit with our betting insider this year, Pat Boyle, who you hear each and every night here on KFH when the Royals aren't playing, on BetMGM tonight on Westwood One Sports. He goes from 5 to 10 o'clock here each night. So excited to have all of them. It's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oztoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style brew that'll make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oztoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. Brady, how are you this morning? The Royals are no longer back. They lose last night.
Boy, reality just smacking me in the face last night, learning that news. It's appropriate I'm in all black because maybe, for a while there, Jacob, I was like, will the Royals ever lose again? I don't know.
They may never.
It's a question.
The dream is over, right? It was nice while it lasted.
A dent in the cushion for 500. Now they have, 6? They can only lose 6 more the rest of the way.
Yeah, the countdown. The countdown is on.
We'll have
headlines we missed a little bit later. We will have the Sports Daily poll a little bit later. So lots of fun stuff coming up, Brady, as we get everybody ready for it. The Chiefs also give us some news on Wednesday. It will be Garrett Nussmeier with the start on Friday, which means likely no Patrick Mahomes, no Justin Fields. We're going to get a good look at Nussmeier this week. Basically, anybody who's nicked up in any way is not going to play, including now Kenneth Walker, who has a swollen foot because of a bad shoe, apparently, that's held him out of practice a couple of days. They say they're not worried about that. But it looks like mostly this will be just kind of dress rehearsal for the young guys.
Fair enough. I mean, there's still something to see there. I mean, Nussmeier, he's been fun to watch. So
I agree. I mean, we're looking at watered down everything, watching the young quarterback play to see if he might make the roster is probably as interesting as anything, I guess. That's what we're looking at here in the final days before we hit the week off and true march to the start of the NFL season. Those are some of the big takeaways from yesterday. Really, from Chiefs camp, there's not much else. We'll see how they fare in this game, but if they can get through it, and most of the key players aren't going to be out there, but if they can get through it without significant injury, their chances to make it to the start of the regular season, Brady, with everybody healthy, are pretty high. And in this league, each and every year when we see star players go down before a snap of football's ever even played, I think you can count yourself pretty lucky if you can get to that point.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, there were still a couple injuries that came up in some practices over the last couple days. So you just, not for the Chiefs, but just league-wide. So you just never know. You just want to get ready. You want to get ready for week one. You want it to happen, yesterday.
Got to get there healthy. We are excited about some conversations today. We'll get into what the Big 12 did yesterday. At the same time, the Big 12 made its stand of sorts, Brady. We get, I think, the NCAA winning another appeal. If I read it correctly from Pete Thamel, it sounds like they won in the Court of Appeals and stayed the trial court's July temporary injunction in a Tennessee court. Brady, what does that mean to you? Does that get you going on a Thursday morning?
Oh, yeah, more court hearings. And
again, they stayed the trial court's temporary injunction. How about that? How about that? Basic injunction. They sent something out that Thamel got his hands on that basically just says they won another case on eligibility. I think they said it from the outright that they are going to push back on some of these rulings. And again, a lot of these are, I think, in both of our opinion, innocent enough. In a case of a guy like Kenyon Giles, who just kind of got caught up on timing, it's bad timing is really all it is for him. But the NCAA made its ruling 5-5. It starts with the class of 2023. They're winning some of these. So I don't know what to make of all of it. I know the conferences have made it crystal clear, at least the Power Four, on how they're going to handle things. But, we don't know for the cases, the true cases of, man, that kind of sucks, like Giles, who wasn't playing professionally or doing anything else, how that's going to shake out. His court case, according to Taylor Eldred yesterday, expected to be, I believe, later this week. So, I mean, we're all just sitting. We'll ask Kevin Saul, how do you handle it? I guess you just proceed as hoped. And honestly, that's not all that different than, Mate Bosniak or some of the other players that we've seen over the years who are waiting on waivers or medical clearances or all of these other things that they've had to wait on. And that's so, you just kind of wait on that and see what happens. But we've got the schools or the leagues or whatever scoring some victories through both the conferences and it sounds like a little bit through the NCAA. So we'll watch, we'll ask, we'll see, and we'll, like everybody else, just give us the games, please, so we can stop with all of this. Once they get going, and we can play. The Royals last night in that loss, Brady, as we just browse the headlines here before we really dig in, it was a bullpen game for the Blue Jays. They just couldn't get anything going. On it, which is, strange for the offense a little bit. But for me, it's like, are we kind of back here to the anemic road woes after they open the series with a win? We'll find out today. It's a regular 6:00 start up there, I should say, in Canada. But no wiggle room. What did you say? 6 now? Where the timers at 6?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yikes. 500. So.
And they only need 22 wins, though, before those 6 losses. That's it. It's all they need. No big deal. Just get them there. Holy smokes. What a year. We're so close. We're so close to football, Royals. What do we need out of the Royals, realistically? We need them to give us about a week. About a week. Can you give us another week? That's it. It's all we ask. Then you can go be bad.
Interesting for a week.
We need you to stay interesting for a week. You can go be bad at that point, get back into the lottery, and we'll load up and get ready for next year. That's all we ask. Is that so much to ask? Brady, give us a week.
I don't think so.
We'll find him on KFH tonight. First pitch or pregame coverage, I should say, begins at 5:30. All right, when we come back, let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go to Chiefs camp, talk about this final preseason game. What do we want to see? What do we need to see? Get you caught up on the injuries. Kevin Saul later this hour, Tim Fitzgerald next hour, and our betting insider, Pat Boyle, joins us for the first time in the final hour. It's a jam-packed Thursday on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Day 869-1240.
Time to get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. We are glad to be with you here on a Thursday. Getting ready for the weekend, starting to look ahead. Great guest coming up today. Really looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun. Brady. The Chiefs get ready for their finale of the preseason, as does most of the league, coming up this week. How your fantasy football draft's going? Have you had any? I've had to have a couple already early. I don't like it, but life dictates the circumstances, and we've got to make it through one more preseason game. A little early, but we're getting there. It is that time of year, Brady.
It is. I think I have a pick coming up in the league we're in together. So,
Brady and I are in, and this is our colleague TJ Cleveland that put this together, and I will admit it is a blast. It is a 32-team, 2-quarterback guillotine league. And if you haven't played guillotine, the worst 2 scores every week get eliminated. They are gone. They're done, and all their players become free agents. It's a wild experience. But we're in that, so that'll be fun. It'll be a good time. All right, Brady. Let's talk a little Kansas City Chiefs here. So injuries. Here's what Andy Reid said: the guys that won't play most likely: Jack Cochran, Shamari Connor, Ashton Gelati, C.J. Hansen. I'm sure I know who that is. Jimmy Holiday, the young receiver we've seen. Chris Oladukin is in concussion protocol. So Garrett Nussmeier is going to get the start. Justin Fields is going to split the game, though. So Andy Reid quickly said it has nothing to do with Justin. This was all in advance, so don't make anything out of that. I didn't see the Oladukin injury, but he's going to be out. So it will be Fields, which is interesting. Josh Simmons is not going to play, and Kenneth Walker has seen that swelling. I don't think that Andy Reid technically and officially ruled out Kenneth Walker, but I don't think he's going to play. The big concern becomes Josh Simmons, who is continuing to deal with his back, and Andy Reid doesn't really have anything good to say about it. He just said they're just waiting, right? Ashton Gelati seems like he's not anywhere close. And then Mahomes later, Reid was kind of inadvertently asked about Mahomes and said he's been doing great as a scout team quarterback and didn't inherently say, whatever. But he told us it's going to be Fields. Look, it's fine. The real big story here is Mahomes will not play. And that is the expected outcome that we've expected all the way through. We get confirmation. No Mahomes in the preseason. Isn't it remarkable, though, Brady, if we think back to the days and weeks following the ACL injury, and I told you, we're going to be having a conversation next August on whether or not he'll play in the preseason, you'd have taken that 100 times out of 100, wouldn't you? Like there was an initial thought he wouldn't be back till October.
Right. Yeah, the way he's been practicing, I mean, I pretty much from the start of camp. Wasn't like he had to wait like a week or two into camp before he could start doing anything. He was doing stuff pretty much immediately. So it's pretty amazing the turnaround he's had. I hope that's pans out and we see that week one that
He's going to play week one. It sounds like just about everybody of the key guys. I think we're waiting on I suppose Ken Walker now, but I don't see any reason he wouldn't be back. But it's mostly Josh Simmons and Gelati will be out for sure. But otherwise, they'll all kind of be there, it sounds like. I mean, there's no way they're holding Mahomes out of the start of the regular season. So, no Mahomes in the preseason. I don't think anybody cares. I think everybody's totally fine with that. All you got to remember, he's been cleared to practice. He's been practicing. He could play. I think if that was, the way that they went about it, everybody's tried to ask Andy Reid 25 different ways about Mahomes and can he play, or is he cleared to play a game if they needed him to play a game, and all these different ways, and Andy Reid will never answer it or never address it. But I think the bottom line, if we read context clues, is they didn't feel like it was worth it playing him in the preseason. He should be ready by the start of the regular season. All systems ahead for the Chiefs, and it was ultimately a best-case scenario from a torn ACL a year ago. Everybody on the planet knows the Chiefs are sitting there waiting to return to what they were before, Brady. Everybody is. You go read all the things, and team's most likely to improve, and everyone's like, well, obviously the Chiefs, right? They get Mahomes back, blah, blah, blah. But the Chiefs had a lot of issues when Mahomes was out there, right? Let's not pretend like last year was going swimmingly before he got hurt. It wasn't.
Yeah, when he got hurt, it was pretty much done at that point anyway.
They were already playing that, right? Yeah. Like they were already far too penalized. They were already one of the worst offenses in football. Too. What's that?
Weren't they already eliminated actually from the playoffs? I don't like that week going into it. It was it wasn't.
They weren't going anywhere.
It was already over.
We'll just say that. I can't remember if there was a technical elimination or not. But they were not very good when he was out there last year. So, that's what you hear everybody say, oh, the Chiefs are obviously going to be back. They got Mahomes back. And I'm like, well, no, I think they'll be back too, but that's not a foregone conclusion. Not even a little bit of a foregone conclusion. They weren't very good last year with Mahomes. He had his Superman cape running around, with his life on the line, it seemed like every game. But they dealt with a lot of stuff. Josh Simmons was out for a while.
The season before that, they had all those extremely close miracle wins where that season easily could have had a totally different outcome. So, yeah, there's been some question marks and anxiety the last couple of years about, like, how good are the Chiefs anymore?
Well, there has been. And so now we've had kind of a reset. The problem is they've reset the thing that has stayed consistent, which is the defense. The offense, and I know we've had this conversation a million times, but nothing in the preseason is pulling me away from it. The offense has been a problem for a while. It has not been a great offense. It's either 22 or 23, and they scored a boatload of points, right? They changed things and threw it to all the different receivers, and it was Rashee Rice's rookie year, whatever that was. Or may have even been the year before that. But it's been a minute since they've been a really good offense. And there have been a lot of reasons for it. But I think the changes that we're seeing and will see are coming there. They have to. This was a team that wasn't very good offensively last year, and they didn't change much of the personnel, Brady. In fact, they really only changed one thing. They brought in Ken Walker. What else did they change on offense? It's still Rashee Rice. It's still Xavier Worthy. Still Travis Kelce. Same offensive line. I guess they changed right tackle, you could say. Juwan Taylor's gone. But that's it. It's the same group. So, what are the chances that they're just way better than they were a year ago? Again, I like their chances to be way better than a year ago, but it's going to take a holistic change to how they play offense. And unfortunately, we don't get to see those things in the preseason. We're guessing at it based on what we see in practice. Why would we expect something so drastically different when the same players are out there And one of the issues they faced last year was Josh Simmons' absence. He's hurt right now. Are we expecting too much of the Chiefs this year? Their defense won't be as good. I will be stunned if their defense is as good. It might have a better pass rush. Might, by the end of the season, be a different kind of good. I'll give you that. I think that's absolutely possible. But I don't think it's going to be the same kind of shutdown defense it's been the last few years. Not right out of the gates. So what should we be expecting here with the Chiefs? They play a brutal schedule. We've seen a little bit of, the past flare up on them with penalties in one game, with key Butker misses in another game, the things that plagued them and haunted them a year ago. What have we seen that makes us think it's going to be all that different this year?
Really just shows you how important Kenneth Walker is to the whole equation. Because, yeah, when you put it like that, if Kenneth Walker is struggling and not able to, basically set up like any play action sort of magic from time to time, yeah, it's the same group. So then what? Yeah.
But and again, I will rubber stamp this offseason and say I think the Chiefs did a pretty good job. I'm not faulting. I'm not doubting. I think they I can't think of one thing that I look back on that they've done and say, yeah, I get it. They gave up a little bit. They gave up quite a bit to get Delane. We still have to see, that be a hit. They have to hit on that pick and what they did for it. We won't know that for a little while. But the strategy of it, I'm fine with. The strategy of loading up the draft through defense and largely ignoring some other things, I'm totally fine with. They got the gift of Kelsey coming back. It allowed them to sort of stretch that out. But they bring back Eric Bieniemy. They spend money on the running back. It looks like they're finally going to really get behind this offensive line, which should be really good. And we'll see how it plays out. I'm enamored by Mahomes in play action. I'm enamored by an explosive run game for this team. I'm enamored by the deep ball becoming more of an option because defenses have to respect the run again. Those are weird things to sit here and say, oh, man, that's going to be all that the Chiefs need to go back to the Super Bowl. But the Philadelphia Eagles are saying the same thing about their new offense under a new offensive coordinator, right? We saw the Patriots go to the Super Bowl last year when nobody expected it. We saw the Broncos almost go to the Super Bowl last year when nobody expected it. Why can't it be the Chiefs? That's the other side to this. Yeah, when you step back and really look at it, there's a lot of reasons why the Chiefs would not be the pick to go to the Super Bowl. But there's also a lot of things we see every year in the NFL that make you say, but they totally could.
Yeah. It's that whole Tom Brady factor with Mahomes.
It is you took the words out of my mouth.
You got Mahomes.
Exactly.
If you have Mahomes, you have a chance.
How many Augusts did we sit here as football observers? Maybe not you and Max because you're Patriots fans, but the rest of us as general football observers sit here in August and count out the Patriots. How many times over those 20 whatever years, 22 years? Lots, right? And how many times did he take teams, he and Belichick, that we didn't perceive as the favorite or a juggernaut or whatever, and all of a sudden they just carved this little path through the postseason, and when the games counted the most, you'd look up and you'd say, the hell did they win that game? How did they do that? That's what the Chiefs will have to be this year. You get to it, and you say, God, how are they sitting there again in the AFC Championship? They never looked dominating this year. I'm not sure I think they ever will look dominating this year. It feels like a chip in a chair kind of a team. Just get them to the postseason and then see what they can do. That's it. Just get them to. Do I think they're going to be the number one seed overall? Absolutely not. I do not think that will be the case. Do I think they're going to roll through and win the division and have this gaudy record and gaudy numbers? I do not think that is going to happen. They got to play a style of football that allows them to win close games. Not like, why would we not think the Chiefs are going to play close games this year based on what we've seen for a long time now? Of course they are. right? Like, this is not the 2019 Chiefs offense that's going to go out and score 40 points a game every week. They're not going to do that. So they're likely to play a lot of close games.
Yeah. If Kenneth Walker can get going and Tyquan Thornton can get going to be that home run guy, home run option, I think then there's a possibility for the Chiefs offense to maybe get closer to those years. I mean, really, when you look at it, the really fireworks show that it used to be for the Chiefs was when Tyreek Hill was there, and you had Kelsey in his prime, basically. When Tyreek Hill left, it hasn't kind of been the same. And then, Eric Bieniemy left around the same time too. So, yeah, it's been a bit since those days for the Chiefs offense. But the ingredients are there for maybe a repeat of that in some fashion. Obviously, a little different with more of a ground emphasis, but it's possible. Right now, Jacob, with a couple weeks before week one, everything is possible.
Well, it is
That's
in the NFL
magic.
more than other sports. I agree. I do agree with that. It is. Andy Reid yesterday said he doesn't know if Xavier Worthy is going to get out there. They'll just see as it gets closer. I don't know if we'll see Rashee Rice. I mean, one thing I will say about the offense, which when you brought up Tyquan Thornton, I think I'm enamored with Tyquan Thornton, but Tyquan Thornton is not Tyreek Hill. Like,
no,
he's good, but no, that threat is never going to be there. I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes will ever have a threat like that again, because Tyreek Hill is a unique player that way. But we also, Worthy was banged up all year. Rice was, suspended or banged up. We don't know what this group healthy could do either. Again, very happy that Travis Kelce decided to come back, because they need Travis Kelce. There's too many questions. Like, I don't care what anybody else is doing. If you tell me it's 3rd and 2, I'm happy Travis Kelce's on the field, right? Like, he's still that dude. And maybe that's all he is, but he's still that dude at least. I don't want people to get, like, I don't want expectations to be too high. Like, I feel like the Chiefs' expectations for me are to just find a way to get into the postseason and then see what happens. But you look at their schedule, and it's brutal.
Yeah, I was going to say, thankfully, we'll know pretty quick kind of where they're at, because they're playing the Broncos right out of the gate. That's not going to be an easy game.
The perceived softer portion of their schedule comes with 2 of those games being the Broncos and the Colts. They just happen to be at home. Then it's Miami Raiders. But after that bye, again, just to remind people, Chargers, Seahawks, Broncos, Jets, Falcons, Cardinals. There you go. Bills, Rams, Bengals, Patriots, Niners, Chargers, Raiders. They must win the games against the bad teams, right? They have to win those. If they can just do that, which would be 2 against the Raiders, the Cardinals is 3, the Falcons would be 4, the Jets would be 5, and the Dolphins would be 6. If they can set their sights on just beating those teams we perceive to not be very good, and we'll see about the Falcons, so maybe they go 5-1 against those teams, starting with 5 wins and needing another 6 against all those other juggernauts, of which I don't even know how many. We'll see how many of those games they're favored in. They've got their work cut out for them. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for this team just to reach the postseason. Just look at the AFC West.
Yeah,
I mean, you got the Chargers and the Broncos sitting there staring at you. I mean, you hope you can split against those 2 teams, go 2-2. It's just temper expectations is all I'm saying. I'm not saying like to the chances to win a Super Bowl, because I do kind of like that, but they got to get there first.
One game at a time.
One more game in the preseason at a time. No Mahomes. We'll see who's out there. We'll get a look at the Rook. We'll get a look at Garrett Nussmeier. See what he's got. All right, when we return, Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director, back in the groove of his bi-weekly visits here to Sports Daily. Now, last about Kenyon Giles when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And welcome back in, everybody. Jake Ballbrock, Brady Bowman here. It is Sports Daily on KFH. Joining us now on the hotline, 869-1240, is Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saul, in for the bi-weekly visits again this season. Kevin, we really appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. How are you this morning?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good. We're good. We're trying to follow along with all of this madness, as I'm sure you guys are too. Of course, the big news at Wichita State is the recent announcement of Kenyon Giles coming back. And since that announcement, we've had rulings that say no as he waits on his case. And now we've got conferences stepping in. As we just take a bird's eye and kind of take chronologically a look at this, Kevin, and we can get people caught up. What made you guys comfortable with his return and having it be as official as it's been at this point?
Well, I think, number one, when he announced his return, all of those student athletes in the entire class were eligible, and you saw it going on all over the country. Jacob, you understand, I think maybe more so than anyone, that these things change hourly. They change daily. We just saw some news out of the state of Tennessee yesterday. We've seen some news out of Louisiana. You're going to see some news on Monday in the state of South Carolina that will likely reverse Kenyon's eligibility status. So at the end of the day, these things are changing. And what we have said first and foremost from the outset is that we are going to support any of our student athletes in their efforts to try and regain another year of eligibility. Because none of us know where this is going to land. It's really easy to second guess things along the way, but at the end of the day, this is an unpredictable environment, and it is our responsibility. In fact, I think we'd be silly not to support our student athletes if they're looking for an additional year of eligibility and they could potentially get it.
You know, I mean, looking at this whole issue, and like you talked about, Kevin, just the stress and frustration of how things can change, you know, hour by hour, you know, day by day, like we're expecting maybe potentially on Monday. When you saw that a lot of the conferences, especially the Power Four conferences, come together and say basically, hey, we're gonna ban any pro athletes from coming back to college. Are you sensing that overall that there is like a rising urgency, like the water's starting to boil a little bit on actually trying to get some rules that everybody can follow together? Does it feel like we're maybe getting a little closer to that?
Yeah, I think so. And I want to be careful that we don't conflate two separate issues, because the one that you're referencing is young people that have spent time on NFL rosters, actually played in NFL preseason games, have signed free agent contracts with NFL teams and have been cut and released and are looking to come back to play college ball. That is very different than a young person that is in the class of 22 that has not professionalized themselves, if you will, that is looking to try to retain another year of eligibility based on how these court proceedings go. So two very different things. But I think in the context of what you're talking about, yeah, there seems to be some pretty good cohesion around the feeling that an individual that goes and dresses up in a professional team uniform, comes back to college, doesn't feel quite right. I think the common sense version of that discussion is that your eligibility is forfeited when you put on the pro jersey, when you play in a pro game, when you sign a pro contract. And I think that's why you're seeing a pretty united message there.
You mentioned Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director, joining us, and we appreciate it to try to get some sense of things as it pertains to Kenyon Giles. You mentioned the South Carolina court case on Monday. You know, before yesterday, Kevin, and maybe a better insight on the Tennessee ruling than I do, because the NCAA legal counsel beating its chest a little bit about whatever that ruling was. But Giles's case is different, as you just mentioned. I'll tell you, in my personal opinion, the class of 22 kind of did get screwed in the ruling. It's unfortunate. We all knew it when it happened. The timer had to start somewhere, but these are, A lot of these athletes, the ones that haven't gone pro, would fit under the current rules. They just happen to graduate the wrong year. So at one point I've thought, man, they'll all win their cases, not the professional part, but the part that fits Kenyon Giles, and they'll be fine. Does the Tennessee court ruling, what is that one? What is the one that the NCAA is boasting about here a little bit on that ruling? Is that going to impact the South Carolina case?
There's basically two states, guys, that I think you got to back up even further. There's basically two buckets of court cases. The first bucket is the Colorado, the Wisney case, which deals with the entire class of 22, right? So when we say the entire class, that is all student athletes that entered college in the fall of 22. Kenyon Giles is one of those individuals. Jaden Gustafson on our baseball team is one of those individuals. Karan Boyd is one of those individuals. That's the entire class. And so what has happened in that case is there was a preliminary injunction where the court basically said, no, NCAA, these kids are going to be eligible. And what happened then is the NCAA went in and filed a brief for a stay of that injunction, which basically means, whoa, hit the pause button. We don't believe these young people are eligible. And the court, the higher 10th Circuit Court, agreed with the NCAA's argument and granted the stay, which means all that class of 22 is no longer eligible. That's not a final decision. There will be a hearing where the case will be heard on the merits of each side, and a final decision will be made likely in September or early October. So pause that, put that one aside. The second bucket are these state cases that are individual player, a list of players, defined list of players. It's not an entire class. So it might be a list in Tennessee. I want to say it's like 18 or 19 players. In Ohio, it was north of 20 players. But there's these named plaintiff cases, if you will, that are in California, Ohio, Tennessee, soon to be South Carolina. You're seeing LSU, North Carolina. They're all over the place. These are a little bit different because the courts are issuing an injunction initially to say, this set of student athletes are eligible, and the NCAA has come in both Ohio and Tennessee and said, whoa, we do not believe that they're eligible, and they've submitted documentation to request a stay. They've been granted that stay. So in each one of those individual state named plaintiff cases, those cases will be heard on their merits later this fall. And so we do anticipate, in fact, we know that Kenyon is on the South Carolina case. And so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that the NCAA is going to make their way around those individual state cases. But at the end of the day, as I told you guys before, what we want to do at Wichita State is be positioned to capitalize on the best case scenario should it occur. And we are in that position. I'm pleased we're in that position, and we'll watch how these court proceedings continue on.
Man, Kevin, did you ever imagine, going back years ago or early in your career, that we'd be at this point where you got to follow, basically got to be maybe have a little law degree on the side, following some of this stuff and understanding all the lingo and all the different hearings and court cases. Is this what you expected when we started to head down this road, when NIL things were first starting to get rolling, or are you even surprised? But was it more litigation than you expected?
Yeah, I'm happy to entertain that question, but I think you all know the answer to that question because this isn't what we expected 2 weeks ago. So at the end of the day, I think what's really important is, and I tell people this all the time, not to make light of a really difficult time for us in our journey, but it feels a little bit like COVID. As we were navigating COVID within athletics and really within our society, it was something new every day, guys. It was something new every hour. You had a ruling or a recommendation over here. You had layers, just multiple entities of authority that were throwing stuff at you pretty fast. And that's what it feels like here. And so what I think is really important, as I mentioned before, you got to kind of rise above it, understand what's going on in the environment, and try to position your organization in a spot where it's going to be able to best maximize the outcomes that could potentially take place. So that piece is important. And again, I don't want to be repetitive, but I feel like we're there. I feel like we have positioned ourselves to be able to maximize based on these rulings. And I think that's what our fans would expect, right? The alternative here is, guys, we don't do anything and we just start making assumptions. We start making assumptions that, yeah, you know what, those court rulings aren't going to come about. And then you miss on some players. And I think there's a misnomer within the athletics industry about all these institutions that are, quote unquote, abusing the system. Well, I can tell you this, Wichita State is not abusing the system. We're going to administer our programs based on the rules and the purviews that oversee our programs and dictate what we do. But we would be irresponsible if we didn't position our program to take advantage of potential windfalls in the environment. And that's what we're doing. We're not manipulating the environment to try and get a kid eligible. But at the end of the day, we do have to position our program in a spot to take advantage of that.
I would agree with that, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And I think there are places, notably in the last couple of days, where manipulation is being accused. That's not what this feels like with Kenyon Giles. He might be eligible. And I want to take this for people one other place. And I know, your journey at Wichita State has dealt with this probably more than anybody else's, and that's sort of the return of things. I would tell you, and I have told Shocker fans, regardless of what happens with this ruling, take note of the fact that you guys had the resources and the ability, if everything holds up, to go get him back after an offseason largely was already completed. I read that as resources, support are growing and getting to a place where that can happen, regardless of what happens in this case. To me, Kevin, that feels like a positive for the program.
Yeah, Jacob, I think you should read that into that, because we've talked about it on your show, guys. When I got here in the summer of 22, our NIL number was 0. And that was a year after NIL became permissible in 21. That has since grown. We know that we sit right at second in the league in terms of our resources. And so we have grown that, and there's so many people to thank and so many people to be proud of along that journey. Most notably our donors and our season ticket holders and our administration that works really, really hard at that. So we've positioned ourselves well, and I would hope that folks would take encouragement that we're in a position where we could absorb that late, both from a roster standpoint and from a dollar standpoint. And the other piece that I think you should take great encouragement in is that we're prioritizing our dollars on retention, which we've heard time and time again is the most important piece to our fan base. Retention. We want players that are going to stay more than 1 year. We've got 10 of 15 coming back in a league that's likely going to have an average of losing 9 in the portal this year. From Coach Mills' first year to his second year, the average team lost 8 to the portal, and we lost 3. I think retention, for the most part, is going to be seen at a higher clip here than it will be for our peers. Now, the trick is going to be retaining the right players and retaining good players that can win you championships.
Kevin, Kenyon Giles is a good player. We'll see. We'll treat this like the old, red shirt waivers or whatever. We've waited on players for the past. We'll wait and see. That court ruling is Monday. Appreciate the clarity today, Kevin. And publicly, congrats on being a grandpa.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys,
Kevin Saul, Wichita
on the show, and go Shockers.
Go Shockers, Kevin Saul. We'll do it again in a couple weeks. We'll have some clarity at that point. We got it right up against a break. We'll come right back and dissect.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
You may remember me from such movies as The Erotic Adventures of Hercules and Dial M for Murderousness.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Dynamic, isn't it?
It is dynamic. Welcome back into Sports Daily, everybody. Thanks for being here with us on KFH. Over the air, on online, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or X, streaming if you're watching 12 News Connected. or the listening on the Odyssey app. We're glad to have you, however it is that you take us in. 869-1240, the number to call. Sports Daily at KFH Radio, the email. You can comment directly into the social media channels or leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app. Thanks to Kevin Saul for stopping by. If you missed anything in that interview with Wichita State Athletic Director about Kenyon Giles and that situation, some clarity, some timelines, it's all there for you. Will be on the Odyssey app when Max gets a chance to podcast that out. We will have Tim Fitzgerald, should have Tim Fitzgerald this hour. We will have Pat Boyle, our betting insider, next hour. It is a fun Thursday. Little taste, little feel for what the show's going to feel like once we get into football games. Fast moving, rocking and rolling each morning live for 3 hours. And it's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Now featuring brand new summer cocktail menu. Set sail with a salty doggy or bearded clam, or escape with a Waikiki wake up or a string bikini Bellini. WBC summer cocktails, because summer sips better at Wichita Brewing Company. We'll have some headlines I missed in just a second, but quick reaction, Brady, to some of the things Kevin Saul said. I thought your question was interesting about sort of a change of things, a pushback of places. I want to get into that with Tim Fitzgerald. I agree with you. I feel like there are some places finding some authority and finding ways of authority that could, give some power back to get some control of how crazy this has become. But again, and I appreciate Kevin Saul saying it, at the same time, got to think about what's best for the students and the student athletes too. Leaving pro football camp to come back to play a year at college and being coerced to do that by a coach, that's not the best thing for anybody, right? That's not good for anybody. But for athletes who just by sake of timing miss out on a rule that could have granted them another year of eligibility and another year now to earn, looking out for the best of the student athlete at that point. So I thought that was interesting, but good stuff there from Kevin. We got some timelines and some clarity really on the difference between what's happening in Colorado and what will happen in the South Carolina case, which it sounds like will happen Monday, not Friday.
Well, and you're just hearing it, what we've all been just feeling anyway, but definitely felt it from Kevin, just the frustration of just like, you're living on the edge of your seat, all the time on all this, because there's just so many moving parts, so much going on. And it was important to always clarify when we're talking about Giles that, that he is not in that group as far as the guys who went pro or tried out pro and trying to come back. He's just trying to fulfill the 5-year rule, basically, that he totally falls into. So
yeah, it's I don't know what to tell people. Just hang tight, because it could change daily. We're getting changes daily. We really are. And it will continue to change until we see games played. I'm not totally ruling out once the games start, we don't see things change. And who knows if eligibility statuses will hold. I do think the NCAA is giving an indication that they want to move quick. I'm sure the players want to move quick. So maybe you can get actual rulings and not just appeals and all these things. But, we'll get there, everybody. We'll get there. Thanks to Kevin Saul for stopping by. All right, let's get to it. Some headlines I missed.
All right, Sports Daily fans, let's take you to the sports headlines Jacob probably didn't see.
All right, NFL renews DraftKings FanDuel deals, adds one more, though. They've added Fanatics as a third NFL sports book. So
say it again? NFL's got 3. What is it?
Now there's 3 sports books.
Fanatics is a sports book now?
Yeah, I thought they just had apparel. But I guess they have
all right.
Everybody has a sports book now, Jacob.
I suppose that is the case.
What else do we have here? I'm sure you heard this headline, but I do want to talk about it, with the NFL announcing that they're eliminating the Pro Bowl games. The Pro games are no more. No flag football, none of those things. What it sounds like, Jacob, which is kind of like the obvious, the thing to do. You're the NFL, you're TV ratings king. Just put together some Pro Bowl special and have them all there. I don't know if there's going to be a
I
TV
heard
special
I
on that. It
hadn't
doesn't
thought
say
about
it.
I hadn't thought about this, but I heard coming into the show on the update there a good point, because I don't really care that they play or don't play a game, but what this will do, I think, Brady, is stop the opt-out and Shedeur Sanders Pro Bowl seasons thing from happening that's been happening. If you don't have a game, you just list the best players, and it doesn't matter if they're hurt, doesn't matter if they want to play, whatever. You will get back to the Pro Bowl honor actually meaning something.
Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, the flag football, I mean, did anybody actually watch? I mean, clearly they didn't, because if people watched, they would keep doing it. But, I mean, the Pro Bowl games, the flag football game, all these. Do you remember the quarterback club, Jacob, when during the offseason they'd have the quarterbacks go out there somewhere and hit the moving target on a golf cart in the field and who had the longest throw?
The challenge, I've said forever they should just make it a skills challenge. They'd always do it in Hawaii.
That was
right?
awesome. I loved it.
You'd have no programming back in those days on like ESPN2 or whatever. And so you'd watch late at night and you'd have the Pro Bowl skills challenge from 1994. And it'd be whatever. Brett Favre out there rifling it,
I'd love to
moving
watch that,
targets. That was awesome. I'm like, why don't we just do that?
Yeah. The quarterback club stuff, I get it. I don't know why they stopped doing those skills challenges, because I remember when they were on TV, I was like, oh, I'm locking in. I'm watching this.
Yeah, equivalent to the old, remember when the home run derbies were like one-on-one?
Right.
I remember they'd have like home run derby challenges. They'd play that during the middle of the day on ESPN. I was locked in all the time. Oh, sweet. It's Rafael Palmeiro versus whoever in a home run challenge. I'm in.
Yeah. So yeah, I am glad though that like a Pro Bowl selection is like an actual like big deal now, because it's been totally watered down for really the last 10, 15 years, because there've been so many replacements.
Well, we kind of switched it, right? We care about the All Pro or whatever, and now not the Pro Bowl, but Pro Bowl. This will be. I didn't care at first. Now I support this. I'm supportive of it.
And some news, especially as I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do about this player. Any fantasy football folks out there who are in their drafts. But some news out of New York. Malik Neighbors' injury scare gets shut down by John Harbaugh. He is saying that he has not heard that he has re-aggravated any injury. Apparently, he left practice early.
Okay.
Yesterday.
I didn't see that one on Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's interesting player anyway. I think we are all on board with his talent. His injury was disgusting.
Great rookie year.
And I still, though, worry about who's throwing him the ball, about their offense in general. Man, he's good, though.
Yeah, he put up good numbers as a rookie with Russell Wilson throwing him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
An older, not in his prime Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm in on Neighbors, the talent. I don't know how I feel about Neighbors this season, but I am in on the
bad
talent.
Injury.
It was a bad injury. And honestly, they got to take it the appropriate amount of time. I don't think anybody has, which, in that division, we've talked about it. Who knows what could happen in that division? If you told me the Giants were fully healthy and would stay that way, I like Cam Scattaboo and Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors and some of the people and some of the defensive players they have in there. And I love their coach. So, yeah, okay. But, man, I wouldn't push it with any of those guys.
Yeah, they got some pieces. Who is it that they have their pass rusher?
Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter. Yeah. They got some pieces.
Abdul Carter. He's good. They've got good players.
So you're saying I should not draft Malik Neighbors here in the next few moments, or should I, Jake?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I think his upside is tremendous. I'm saying I don't think the Giants should rush him back, though.
Yeah.
Take that the appropriate amount of time.
Yeah. The injury and the type of injury it was, and the fact that he's a wide receiver, that gives me some nerves. That gives me some pause.
Me too. Which is why he's still sitting there in the set draft that you were referencing and discussing.
Right.
Man, if I had the time and energy, a listener league would be so much fun. We used to do one. We had some great listeners. I remember I represented Bruce and I, because Bruce didn't want to do it. So he was like, "You will both be on the team. You handle the transactional value." And so we met a bunch of listeners. I think it was like at a wing place or something, and had a draft, and it was fun. Met a lot of cool people. One of these days, everybody will do it. Maybe the listeners. You talked me into a card pull. If you can talk Brady into managing the league and dealing with all of it, I'm in. I'm in. But we're having a baby soon, Brady. I can't.
Yeah,
I don't think I can do anything else. When we come back, Tim Fitzgerald should be by. We're working with Fitz's schedule, rightfully so, as he's trying to get back on the mend with us. I think he's here, and I think we'll have him next. Go powercat.com. Want to get his take on some of these things happening in college sports. The Big 12, of course, following suit as we expected they would. What does that mean for K-State? Talk about it next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Sports Daily is on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
Well, 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 look who showed up on the video stream. It's our guy, Tim Fitzgerald. GoPowerCat.com. It's a great day, Fitz. Listen, the circumstances may not make it great for where you're headed, but it's a great day because we got Fitz on the stream. Let's go.
What's up, boys? Good to see you.
How are you?
Back to my schedule. I told you I was moving to the afternoon, but then I got moved back. Apparently, I'm too rowdy for the afternoon. I don't know, but getting on the back end of these treatments. Pretty excited. I'll be in my car 1, maybe 2 more weeks, and then I'll be back in the house.
God, there's a chance right by the start of the season. Are you kidding me? We can taste it. You know, this time last year, Aer Lingus is this weekend, Fitz.
Yep.
Godspeed, TCU in North Carolina. Whew. That was a nice idea. Didn't quite go well for the Cats.
No, and it didn't go well for Iowa State either.
That's true.
As their season wore on, it's funny how the fate of the two programs is very similar. You lose your head coaches for different reasons. But it's hard for me to believe that Chris Kleiman's exhaustion, there was health concerns, but had to be related also to, the wear and tear on him going over to start the season. Let's say this. Everyone I've talked to said it was an incredible trip except for the game. And, I think most people would do it again, go back again if they played there, but they also don't want them to play there. And I don't think the program wants to play there anymore. But my big question about Saturday's Aer Lingus Classic is, if this game screws up North Carolina's season, will we be able to tell? Or will it just be North Carolina football?
Good question.
Yeah, that is the thing. It doesn't, between both teams. I mean, TCU probably has more upside as far as down the road than North Carolina, but yeah, for both teams, it's kind of like if things go really wrong, it's like, can you really blame Aer Lingus like you can the last couple of years? But I'll ask you something that we had Kevin Saul on just a little bit ago, and I'll ask you a similar question I asked him. When all this stuff started, we were talking about how Big 12 joining, Big 10, SEC, all these leagues as far as not allowing pro players to come back to college. When all this first started happening, when we were first looking at NIL and kind of changing models, is this where you thought we would be, or is this even more litigious and even more court cases, et cetera, than you thought, or is this what you expected when all this first started?
Yeah, what's weird about this, Brady, is none of this pro stuff has anything to do with NIL and transfer portal. This is all just well, the courts apparently wanted to destroy college athletics, so let's file these lawsuits too. and make us eligible. But it's always home court cooking. You always take it to your state judge, and you pick probably the best you can, your state judge, and they rule in your favor. And so for a little bit, you get a victory, and you're banking that when it goes to the appellate court, they too will be insane. Because there's no sanity that says a former professional, particularly like in the NFL, even if it was a training camp, can come back and play college athletics. It makes no sense to anyone except those that want to do it, and Coach Lane Kiffin, who have to bend the rules to win.
Yeah, I agree, Fitz. I don't think anybody likes it. And I will say, too, like, it's always been, like, this whole thing has been one place or person does a thing, and then it opens the floodgates to something. What I'm curious about now is, as we wait for lawmakers to scramble to try to get something through, which probably feels less likely the longer it goes, we've seen the conferences show some teeth. When I saw what the Big Ten, who kind of was the first to come out against the pro thing, it reminded me of Brendan Sorsby's case. And in Brendan Sorsby's case, you saw outrage and unification among teams to say, you know what, pull them off the schedule, do X, Y, and Z. And so now we have these leagues who are saying, you know what, we do have the power to punish our member institutions, regardless of what a court says. If you're LSU and we're the SEC, we can set rules. If you don't like them, leave the league. Go somewhere else. So I almost wonder if we're getting a pushback and maybe a precedent where, as the NCAA can't wholly set these regulations that hold up, we really haven't seen the conferences be challenged much when they come together and come up with clear rules. Okay, we won't punish the player, but we'll sure punish the coach in the school.
Right. Actually, that's where the punishment probably should be. So, look, I'm encouraged by that. I really am. It's one of the better things to come out of. And I think you're right. I think it came out of the Texas Tech thing. We took a conference stand on that, and now let's do it again. And I got to be honest, I was really surprised the SEC followed. I'm not surprised the Big 12 chipped in then. I haven't heard anything on the ACC, but
they're in. They're in.
They're in. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. So, if a guy wants to come back in this current environment until it gets overturned and play at Troy, go for it, man. Go for it. But you're not going to get NIL money probably. So that's what's interesting about it. They're coming back to try to get paid, but now they've been cut off from the power level NIL money. And that kind of makes it all moot. Why would they come back to not get paid? So I'm not sure. I'm really encouraged that the conferences are doing the right thing.
Pitt's kind of shifting gears to K-State, and the season really just around the corner. What's the impression you're getting from the team as far as how ready they feel? Do you get the impression that they're antsy, that they feel good, they're ready to get to it, or do you get the impression it's like, there's still some things to work on, maybe they feel like they need another week? Where do you gauge on their level of being ready for the season?
Brady, I think Colin Klein's got this team in such construction mode. They're worrying about the day ahead of them. What do we got to do today? What do we got to do tomorrow? And then, just keep progressing, and boom, next week's game week, which is insanity to me how fast it closed in. But yeah, I think there's more and more Snyder team trades out of this than I ever expected. And I knew there would be some, but it's kind of amazing to watch it happen, how he's replicating kind of the spirit of the locker room where guys don't leak information like they used to. So it's pretty it's fascinating to watch, but I think we'll see a little pep in their step on Monday when we have a press conference.
We're ready for it, because I think the biggest question now that's coming from everything we're hearing, seeing, has become a pretty big question, Fitz. The offensive line. Who's going to play on it? And are they going to be able to do what they want to do with what's looking like, at best, a huge question at a key spot for them?
Yeah. And I bet you the coaches are thinking, yeah, we'd like another couple of weeks here to figure this one out. I'm just really interested to see what they do at that left tackle spot, particularly if Tanner Morley, the left guard, is out too. I mean, you're going to have a really inexperienced side of that left side of the line, which is not good. Do they feel like they've got some answers? Is Morley out a game, 2 games? He was at practice the other day. Was that a dupe? Like he's not really ready to go, but we're going to dress him out because he wasn't doing anything. So I don't know. I'm just they've got some big question marks at that left tackle spot, and are they ready to say, you know what, we're going with the true freshman Oliver Miller to the
We lost you there right as you mentioned Oliver Miller, Fitz. Make that point again.
Yeah, maybe they'll just go with Oliver Miller at left tackle against Nichols and, throw the young guy into the water and see if he can swim.
I mean, those are basically the options, right? I mean, especially with the time we have until the season, this is kind of what you got to do. I kind of go back to the discussion we were having a little bit about the conference pushback. Rick, listener Rick, asking this question: why didn't conferences push back 3 years ago on all this? And I guess take a stand. And I don't know, Fitz. Is it just probably that there's just been so much to juggle? Especially, 3 years ago, it seems like we were more in a conference realignment mode and worrying about that.
I don't think 3 years ago anyone thought it would turn into this mess, this giant. Because this latest issue, as I said, has nothing to do with where we started. It's just like, someone pulled a card out of the bottom of the house and everything started. Is finally just.
We're getting a little choppy there, Fitz. We'll let you make your way to the treatment. Man, it's so good to see you on the stream today. Hang in there, couple more, and we'll have Fitz back to full strength. GoPowerCat.com, at Life of Fitz on X. Go find the latest on KState. We'll do it again next week, and we appreciate Fitz being here. There goes Tim Fitzgerald. Always good to see Fitz. There,
Always.
Brady. We're gonna have that glowing purple home studio.
Love it.
Very soon. It's a good question, Rick. Why didn't they do this 3 years ago? My sense is, when you first start seeing the NCAA lose all these lawsuits, probably you don't think you have much of a case, right? And so that kind of fast forward to now, again, I keep going back to the Sorsby thing. Man, they got some power there, and I think learned, if we all are in agreement on something, we really do have some merit here. And the punishments, we keep thinking about punishments of players, but conferences can punish schools and coaches of member institutions, just like any pro league, right? They have commissioners. The members all sort of agree on something. It's just a smaller version of the NCAA. And it's, they've taken the tact of, okay, but the punishment for breaking the rules of the league are going to the schools and the coaches, not the players.
And the
in
rules
all of
themselves.
this Big Ten SEC stuff, we're not seeing like players will X or players will Y. It's coach will be suspended. And the schools must, what is it? Like one of them, I don't even remember which one, give back 50% of their revenue deal or something. Like insane, like punishments that would make it an absolute, we're not doing that.
Right.
And I think probably they just needed a little nudge to get a reminder or maybe a precedent, which is what I think Sorsby did, of like, who's going to tell us no? We're not the NCAA. Like, the conferences have the ability to govern their members because their members agree on it. All of these things you're seeing out of these schools were mutually agreed upon. The only school I believe that I've heard from any of the power schools that didn't vote in favor of these punishments was LSU, who initially, according to reports, was a yes and then abstained at the official vote.
You don't say.
You don't say.
LSU? No way.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
that's where we sit on this, and it's like everybody agrees on this. Everybody does. And again, these leagues are not designing this to punish players. They're designing this to punish coaches and schools, which they absolutely have the authority to do.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, because a lot of these court cases have really just been dealing with eligibility. That's not like there's a lot of other things going on. Yeah, you can be eligible, but that doesn't mean you have to play.
We're not saying you're not eligible. We're saying you can't play in our league.
Right. Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
And I think what Fitz was getting to was like, why, answering Rick's question on why didn't conferences push back 3 years ago. I think what Fitz was getting to was just that nobody would have thought that any pro athlete would have said, like, you know what, maybe I'll go back to college. I just think it's such a ridiculous thing at heart that I don't think anybody saw that coming necessarily. And just all these things have been happening so fast and snowballing so fast. That, yeah, I think a lot of this kind of snuck up on these leagues and conferences, and they were like you were kind of talking about early on, Jacob, like a couple weeks ago, that we need to get on this now. We all need to get on lockstep now before this really gets even crazier, if that's possible.
And it probably will still get crazy, I think, but under more control. I think, I don't know. We talk about precedent a lot. These absolutely outrageous things have lost in the last two circumstances. Again, we're not talking about the 2022 class feeling like they should get that year everybody else is getting. We're talking about the parts of it where guys went pro and are trying to come back from that. The precedent that might set. And so just like the Sorsby situation of like everybody looking at that and be like, this guy cannot play this year. If what he did doesn't make you ineligible, nothing makes you ineligible, right? And so quickly, everybody got together and was like, no, we're not going to do this. That's what we're seeing now. This prospect, we're not doing this, right? We're not going to do this anymore. Because the precedent of it is too wild and crazy. The precedent of the 2022 guys that didn't do anything, that entered the transfer portal, did everything right, never went and played, like that's a totally different thing. That's a 1 year thing. Because after the 2022 class, nobody else would be eligible, right? The 2023 class, they wouldn't have been eligible still. That would have run out under the new 5-and-5 rule. So that feels one time. So they're pushing back. They got to be, they've got to be uniform in this. And if the Power Four can do it, and maybe the other leagues don't want to, maybe the FCS wants to allow some of these players to come back and play. They're going to get cut from an NFL roster. Maybe they have a year of eligibility. They're not going to make $5 million, but we can throw them a bone. And maybe whatever. Again, nobody really cares about that. Let's be honest. Like, that level of football you care about if you have, or if you're in a city that supports it, if you're an alumni, whatever, if you're just watching sports, you love to bet, whatever, you might care about it, but not like we consume the Power Four. And we're mostly talking football here, not basketball. Basketball is maybe a little bit different a story, but in football especially, go take the power back, leagues. Do it. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we didn't mention this, but just real quick to tie a bow on this, the NFL says players who return to college will be ineligible to play in 2026. So the NFL is saying if you were cut and tried to come back. No.
I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I told you they were going to do that. The NFL doesn't want anything, just like they did with Stewart. They don't want anything to do with this. Like that, nope, no thank you. We can continue the discussion, bounce around a little bit. We'll have Pat Boyle in the third hour, talk a little betting. It's all coming. And a Sports Daily poll. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in here, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Allrock, TJ Cleveland. Glad to be with you.
TJ's here.
TJ? What? Brady Bowman. Old habits die hard. Jacob Allrock, Brady Bowman here with you. Max Power producing. Yeah, old habits die hard, Brady. At least I didn't
What
say...
are you people? On dope?
Yeah, I think we've established that.
Well, TJ was just texting both you and I asking if I was going to basically broadcast my draft pick live.
Who'd you go with?
I went with DJ Moore.
The new
a little
weapon.
bit of a reach. He was projected a little lower than that, but
the new weapon for Mr. Josh Allen. Yeah.
just a little concerned about Malik.
Ken says, if I get my accounting degree, take a job at Acme, get paid, and Acme says, hey, you need to get some more coursework in, should the school turn me down because I got paid professional money? That's a good question, Ken, and I get where you're coming from. And I think longtime listeners of this show understand that I have been very pro player in all of this. We're talking and comparing to other degrees is something that I've liked to do when we talk about earning money or earning money while in school or other things. I think you'd have to think of this question this way, and I like it, Ken. How does that take, does Ken, with his accounting degree, Ken the professional, take the ability away for current students to get their degree in accounting, to attend accounting classes, if that makes sense? Do you coming back take away opportunities for someone else? I think is one way to sort of look at that a little bit. And I'm not saying the answer is one way or the other. I'm trying to, because I do like to make the comparisons when we're talking about college in general, but I also think I have no concern with eligibility. Otherwise, why have any eligibility? Again, why isn't everybody just allowed to play college at any point they want? At that point, it's a professional league, right? So I do think there is a line here. I think, though, we're talking about, competing. So let's look at it this way then, too. You have a degree. You come back and take a class, and maybe there's some accounting competition. I'm sure that there is. Should you be allowed as a professional to come back and compete? Should Yale be able to go find the 5 best accountants in the world and put them on their accounting team? Should they go get all the best lawyers and put them on their debate team? Maybe that's a better way to look at that. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't be allowed to do that. There's a competitive part of this that's not just that LSU student is not coming back to further his education in any way. I cannot imagine that that's the case. So there's always going to be, and I think this is where a lot of these problems have come from. There's always going to be, well, what about my case? What about this? And I told you when they first announced 5 and 5 that I sort of had a problem with it, because there are going to be circumstances and cases that take kids out of school that are outside their control, that have nothing to do with anything that they've done. Family situations, whatever. Those waivers will be in there for certain things. And I've come around now, I think, to the idea, because we have to have some rule in place, right? We have to. Now, when it comes to how much a player can earn while playing for the college, I am not in favor of capping that. I'm not. In the NIL space, right? If we want to impose, salary caps, then that's fine. But I'm not in favor of anybody telling an athlete what they can earn on the open market while they're in college. I'm not in favor of that at all. I don't like that part of the rules. I think it's pointless. I don't think it matters too much. Again, the haves are going to have, the have-nots are not going to. There's always going to be a spending discrepancy. There always has been a spending discrepancy. That's never going to change. And honestly, I don't think it's the important part of this equation. Eligibility has become a very important part of this equation when we talk about college sports. Earning potential of athletes, I don't even think that's in the stratosphere of things that really have a high impact on our enjoyment of watching these things. So it's a good point. It is a good point. How do we relate this to other fields? So I would tell you again, Ken, and then Brady can give his take on this question. Nobody's saying the kid can't come back to school. Nobody's saying that that these players that are trying to come back from their professional contracts can come back to school. They're saying they can't compete on the football team. Just like if you were a lawyer, nobody's saying you can't come back to the school. They're saying you can't compete on the debate team. I hope that makes sense. Brady?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. And it's a great question and scenario and something to think about that Ken brings up. But yeah, I think the way you talked about it with there's no finite space for you to go back and learn more about accounting. Like there's always like you said, there's limited spots on a roster. And when you're talking about competition, there's all sorts of space for me to go anywhere and take classes on accounting. There's a seat open somewhere for me to do that. But if I wanted to be a starting quarterback for the K-State Wildcats, well, there's only one spot available. So there's competition for that spot. And that's where, yeah, I think that's the way to look at that, where that is kind of the difference in what Ken's talking about. But, it is a good question. And we hear all the time, NFL players all the time, you hear about so many of them that are like finishing their degrees in the off season or whatever, or maybe just taking some classes during the season, who knows, with online classes. But yeah, that's always happened. It's the competition factor that we're really talking about.
There just has to be some guidelines. And honestly, the conference power that we're seeing is far simpler, far more manageable, everything than trying to do this at a broad level through the NCAA. Because if you only do it through the conferences, there's still avenues you could take other places, right? The SEC isn't saying pro athletes aren't allowed to come back and play college football. The SEC is saying pro athletes aren't allowed to come back and play college football in the SEC at SEC member institutions. That's what it's saying. And that's the difference. The NCAA is trying to say professional athletes cannot come back and compete in college athletics ever under any circumstance. That's going to be harder to achieve. It might be achievable, but it's going to be harder to achieve, right? If the conferences will step up, it gets a little simpler.
Yeah,
and simplification is key in all this.
Yeah, if you have most of the conferences in the NCAA that are all doing the same thing, well, that kind of does the work of the NCAA for them.
Yeah, we're never going to escape it. But again, if you missed it, the Big 12 did, as expected, follow suit. So now we wait. The ACC will. I don't know what the other leagues will do. I don't think it matters. One way or the other. Ken follows here again on YouTube where you can chime in. If the Royals should not be able to send me down to Omaha because I'm taking another roster spot down there. Well, the Royals are one organization with lots of layers, and I don't think that one comps as well. Everybody's a member of the Royals organization. They can do whatever they want. You've signed a contract with the Royals. That's the big difference here is players haven't signed contract. Like you're under contract with the Royals. They can do whatever they want. Just like any employer can reassign you if that's allowed any way they want to. It's not over. But Brady, I think it may get simpler if we see conference unification like this. If you take away the temptation, Lane Kiffin, if the temptation or the ability to bend the rules is not there, are you going to bend the rules? Of course, they'll bend them in other ways. But if everybody's in agreement that this is bad, just don't let it happen.
Yeah, you kind of hope for what this could snowball into.
I do too. I'm not kidding. Like, I think, some of these outrageous things where there will be total agreement, because this one you're going to have total agreement. I will bet you that you would not have total agreement if you asked and polled about class of 22 athletes that never signed professionally. I don't think you'd have total agreement among administrators. I'm sure some would like to be done with it and say, nah, don't want to deal with it anymore. And some, like Kevin Saul, who you heard earlier in the show and you can hear on the Odyssey app, would say, that student athlete, we got to look at, we should be looking out for their best interest too. The class of 2022 got screwed in the ruling. There's no question about that. They got that, and even these athletes that are trying to come back from professional got screwed. Would they have gone pro had they been able to make the kind of money they probably could have made in college? They probably would not have gone pro. And that's even more unfortunate. I think the fear there is, what precedent does that set? In the long term. And so because of that, same thing we saw with Brendan Sorsby. What precedent does it set if he's allowed to play? You had total unification to say, we can't do that. Can't do it. Sorry. It's unfortunate. Can't do it. That's it. Right? Like, sometimes you just have to draw a line in the sand. Was Pete Rose actually gambling in a way that hurt the Reds' chances? We may never know, but it didn't matter. You had to draw. There's a reason that line is drawn in the sand, and it is.
Because we asked the question, we wonder.
Should, I don't know, Jackson Dart be allowed to come back and play for Ole Miss if he ends up being a backup quarterback for the Giants? Of course not. Can't do that. But those are the precedents you have to start wondering about if you don't push back. Right? Like, what would stop what would stop J.J. McCarthy, who may get released from the Vikings, from coming back to earn, good Lord, $5 million? And what's to stop him from just staying there for 5 years if you don't push back? So again, you have to draw the line somewhere, and they are choosing to draw it at, if you've gone pro, you can't come back. And I don't have any problem with that, because I think the line does have to be drawn somewhere. If you've gone pro, you can't come back to college.
Which seems pretty common sense when you really think about it.
Well, it is. But again, I do think we need to be fair to the fact that the class of 2022 got screwed.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, did the 5-5 ruling, when was that passed? When did that happen? Because that's important too. Let me see if I can find that. June 23rd of 2026. So that was after the NFL draft, right? So these football players in question got screwed. They did. The basketball players who kind of went about it the right way, entered the transfer portal, were very careful and particular about how they handled it. They had a little time to react to the 5-5 ruling, right? The draft is right there. It's a little closer to, but I don't think we were talking about the 5-5 when we were in, February or March making draft decisions as NFL players. They didn't know the opportunity would be there. So I want to be fair to them too, and not cast them as these evil monsters trying to take advantage of blah, blah, blah. They left a lot of money on the table by going pro, probably.
Yeah, they were kind of caught on the wrong side of it. For sure.
And I have total sympathy for that. I do think that that's really unfortunate. And I hope that a lot of them are able to find their ways to professional. But again, we have to have a line somewhere, or what do we have? Or we have chaos. And you just can't have chaos, unfortunately.
And we found a line, finally.
Right. Yep, the conferences did anyway. All right, we'll come back next hour. Pat Boyle, our betting insider, joins the show. Right on the other side, we will get to a Sports Daily poll. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for being with us this morning and keeping us fueled up. We're coming right back on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such movies as Alice Doesn't Live Anymore and Mommy, What's Wrong with That Man's Face?
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Something worse than any punishment this world has to offer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to describe it. It is quite the punishment, but we'll keep rocking and rolling anyway here on a Thursday. Taking you into hour number 3, Pat Boyle, our betting insider, joins us next segment. Look ahead to the first opportunity. We'll take a look at some future stuff in the NFL, but we've got college games this weekend, Brady, and you put a gun to my head. I wouldn't have a clue how to bet any of this weekend, so I'm glad to have Pat in. I know he's been looking at that. It's what he does. So that'll be next segment. And we'll also get to the Sports Daily poll here in moments. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oztoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style brew that'll make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oztoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. All right, Brady, let's do it. Let's get to some polls. Here we go, Max.
Excuse me, do you have the Carl Yastrzemski baseball card from 1973 when he had big sideburns?
Show me the $30, because if you ain't got it, I ain't getting off the stool.
Sports Daily Pull.
It's time, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Okay.
Still
All right.
got a few cards in this
So
pack
we're
of
still on,
Absolute.
what are we on here still? 2025 football?
2025 Absolute, yes.
Okay. 2 cards each and every
cards.
day.
Boy.
We're gonna get into
nerve-wracking.
some other varieties of things because we had some friends up in Valley Center, Hobby Armor,
Yes.
send us a variety. We'll spice this up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But right now we've got to finish getting through the 2025 football cards. See if we got this right. See if we can get a what are we calling them? Variant rookie card.
Yes. Oh, and we got some good ones, Jacob. Step aside Jalen Royals rookie. We might have a new contender for one to watch.
Uh-oh. Is it a variant?
It is a variant. I'll get to that in a moment. But we do have, we got 2 variants, Jacob.
Oh, my goodness.
what a good poll day. And as a K-Stater, I love this one. We got a DJ Giddens rookie card.
Yes.
And it's a blue alternate, has a blue parallel.
Okay.
So that's good.
A rookie card variant DJ Giddens. Now that one you better put in one of your sleeves there, Brady.
Penny sleeve, yeah. Oh, this is penny sleeve worthy.
You better get that one to a safe place. DJ Giddens just waiting for an opportunity. Man, that's fantastic. I love that's my favorite one we've pulled by far.
The foil doesn't allow the camera to focus on it as well, but it's gorgeous for anybody listening.
A gorgeous card.
But we got another one, and this might overtake it as far as upside and potential worth.
Okay.
It's a rookie wave variant. It is Cam Ward.
Ooh.
The former #1 pick, the signal caller for the Titans.
Okay. Cam Ward okay. All right.
Good poll. This is a good poll day. This is probably our bet. These are the best 2 cards in one poll that we've had.
Variants on them. Cam Ward has not been very impressive thus far in his young career. Looking to maybe take a next step this year. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, those are really good. Those are really good. Dig back to the first day too, Brady. And Max, get ready because I have some breaking news for us.
Ooh. What could it be?
Keeping Max on his toes. Max, I have some breaking news for us.
Hint.
There it is. There it is. Okay, here we go. Jeremy Fowler reporting today. Brady. Sports Daily Poll alumni. The Seahawks and All-Pro defensive tackle Leonard, don't call him Leonard Williams, nearing an agreement on a 3-year extension. Another big extension for him after a massive season last year. So there you go. Leonard,
there we go.
Don't call him Leonard Williams from the inaugural day 1 Sports Daily Poll, getting a contract extension.
Yeah, where did that go? I have
So
it
those
somewhere.
were the two. The DJ Giddens is my favorite card that you've pulled. The Cam Ward has the most value, but neither of them. I think I said favorite. I think Leonard Williams, a.k.a. Leonard, is still my favorite. Very first out of the sleeve, and we get a total butchering of the name of a great player. And I love that. That's what I love about it. That's what I envisioned. See, I didn't know when I agreed to this that it was all going to be 1 year. And do all packs work this way? Are they all like from 1 year and all that stuff?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like
See,
a model of a car.
Wanted, here's what I wanted out of this. I wanted like all years on the table, the most obscure players we might not be able to remember and being able to play remember that guy. Like so far, we've had almost none of that. We've had the Cardinals rookie defensive lineman from a year ago. There's old Leonard. We had the Cardinals rookie defensive lineman, and that was the only guy that just didn't immediately was like, oh yeah, well that's who that is. So we're getting a little less of that. Maybe in some of those packs from our friends at Hobby Armor, we'll see.
I can't wait to dive into those.
Absolute obscurity in the cards that you're pulling. Oh, we're going into the sleeper. He's putting that Cam Ward.
Gotta be very careful.
You don't want to smudge the corner and make it a 9 instead of a 10.
Bad corner could just ruin a whole card.
Rick's making fun of me. Said, OMG, I don't think Jacob's ever opened a pack of cards. Rick, your assumptions are correct. I don't think I have either.
Never in your life?
Well, in the days I was into this, when I was like 8 years old, this wasn't an adults game, back in the day. This was very much something kids did. I had older brothers that had cards, and I feel like I would just have like hand-me-downs. So whatever was in the big binder or whatever, I don't think I ever went and got packs of cards. But I also don't think in those days packs of cards were exclusive to one season. When I remember opening them and looking at the back to see if they were rookie cards, not opening a specific year knowing a player was a rookie in that season. Like I'd open a card, and the first thing you did was you turn it over to see if it was a rookie card, because they'd have each year's stats. They still do that, put each year's stats.
Well, usually they'll have a big RC, like a rookie logo, like it looks different.
Yeah. See, I haven't been in the game for again, when I was in the game, the value came if you flip that card over and when it showed season by season stats, if you only saw one line, because that meant you had their rookie card. That was it.
And it was a college stat. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That was the extent of my, and now since then, I've just given a hard time to all my adult friends who are so into this. I get it. I do get it now. I'm understanding more of why people have interest because it's retained value, right? It's an asset potentially. It's no different than many other things. You're trying to collect assets that appreciate in value over time. I get it. I get the appeal of why it's become a thing for adults. But man, I'm out of the game. I don't know the game at all. And
well, you're getting a crash course.
Like, does it have to be can we go back to the old days of flipping it over to see if it's a rookie? Like maybe you pull that Patrick Mahomes card out of that pack, but maybe it's a rookie card.
I got a buddy a pack of cards. This was like 10, 15 years ago in Manhattan. And it was for his birthday, I think. And in that pack was a Mahomes rookie card. I keep forgetting to ask him. I was like, you still have that, right? I hope you do. I hope it's in the sleeve or something. But, mentioning those stats, looking at the back of this DJ Giddens card, it has his 2024 KState stat, his senior year. Gosh, I forgot how good of a year that was, Jacob. For KState, DJ Giddens, his last year, over 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, receiving touchdown, 258 receiving yards too. He was lights out. He was underappreciated at K-State.
Who was under DJ Giddens?
DJ Giddens, a little bit. I feel like he was a little underappreciated.
Underappreciated?
A little bit.
You think so?
A little bit.
I mean, maybe he didn't have the fanfare that Deuce Vaughn did. But man, I don't know. DJ Giddens was quite adored. He was fantastic. He was awesome.
No, he was, but we don't think of him probably because he was just never on a team like that team that won the Big 12. With
like the Deuce Vaughn team. Maybe.
But when he got going, he was, locomotive.
Yeah. Oh, he was an incredible player. I think he could have a stay if he gets an opportunity in the NFL.
I agree.
I actually love his situation. Jonathan Taylor historically misses time. And I think DJ Giddens is set to slot right in if that happens. All right, Pat Boyle will join us next. Let's talk some bets for the first time into this football season when we return. Good pulls today. Come on, Cam Ward. Brady's depending on it. His mortgage depends on it. Need Cam Ward to step it up a little bit in year 2. We're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Time to get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And that insider with us this morning here on KFH. We are glad to join in as a betting insider this season. Pat Boyle, you hear him each night here on KFH, part of BetMGM tonight on Westwood One Sports, 5 to 10 o'clock here with us. Pat, it's been a while. How are you, man? Welcome in.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jacob, yes, it has been a while, my man. So it's good to be with you guys. Can't wait to talk some football every single week for the next couple of months. Let's go.
Pat and I have worked together. It's been back in, a generation ago in the Infinity days here that you've heard on KFH. Glad to have Pat in. I know how much Pat loves the sport of betting sports. And I'm glad you do, Pat, because as we dig into this in week 0 of college football, I look at the slate. I'm like, man, I got no clue. How does Virginia hold up to NC State on Saturday afternoon? Man, I don't know. How are we supposed to know anything about these teams in the chaos of college sports anymore? Are you ready for this? Like, are you? I would imagine that you are, because we've had so many weeks of waiting for it, but week 0 snuck up. I got to be honest.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's 2 days away, right? And not anybody can claim they know about these teams and about this transfer portal and with this team brought in and this recruit. Nobody knows until we actually see the games get played. So again, I would urge you to take all of the preseason rankings with a grain of salt. And obviously, if you're looking to throw a couple of bucks on these games, keep it light for the first 2 weeks before we can really see all these changes year to year with the transfer portal. Rosters get turned over more than ever before nowadays. And you want a couple of data points before you maybe toss a couple of more bucks on some games later in the year. So yeah, I mean, again, we've got a good slate. Like, I've never been more excited for USC and San Jose State on Saturday. And like you said, Florida State, New Mexico State, NC State, Virginia. I mean, these are games that are at the bottom of the barrel most weeks. But since we've only got a handful of games this weekend, yeah, I'm pumped for them. And everybody should be pumped for them. And I think everybody, like noon Eastern coming up on this Saturday, Bill Belichick, after the disastrous year 1, gets smoked by TCU last year. They get to play him in Dublin. I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. It's just around the corner, Pat. And you kind of touched on what I was going to ask you as far as I'm sure there's a lot of folks like me, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks that you deal with. This is the time of year they kind of reopen their apps. Maybe they have to update their app because they haven't used it since March Madness was over. What's kind of the big tips? You kind of touched on maybe starting light and doing that. When it comes to somebody wanting to kind of get back into it for another season, what's kind of your big tips for folks, especially maybe the casual bettor, on how to get started? What are some good things to look for? How do you kind of get yourself in that mindset and get ready to lock in for another year?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would say that try to stick to a bankroll as much as you possibly can, whether you are somebody that only bets a couple of times a year, or if you're somebody that likes to do it, 2-3 times a week for Thursday night football in the NFL, college football on Saturdays, the NFL on Sundays. Stick to a bankroll. I would try. I think most of the time, if you are somebody that bets $5 on each game or $10 on each game, try to keep that the same, no matter if you're 10 out of 10 confident in something or if you're 5 out of 10 confident in something. And I think that makes the experience that much more enjoyable. It makes it fun. It keeps it responsible. And I think that's a good way to approach it. And then also, I would say avoid parlays as best as you can. Everybody loves parlays.
La, 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 la,
Yeah, I was
la.
going to say, me too.
Nope. Guilty.
Everybody loves the same game parlays as well. Yeah, look, I don't blame you. If it's two teams, okay. There's a lot, two favorites, both are a touchdown favorite. There you go. Have some fun, right? Because sometimes you're like, all right, well, I think this team wins, but I don't know if they're going to win by 8 or, by 10. I don't know if they're going to win by margin. And there's this other team that I think they should win. So again, I can see it, right? I would never do more than two teams. If you're looking for something, $5 to make $100, go nuts. But those hit probably 1 out of 30 times, and you don't end up even making the return on your investment. So I would say if you're confident about something, take that team to cover. Anything inside 3 points, I think you're better off just taking a team to win on the money line. But yeah, avoiding parlays, I think, is the biggest piece of advice I can give somebody. If it's two teams, I think that should be the max. For example, TCU, 9.5-point favorite this Saturday against North Carolina. I think TCU wins. Do I think they cover? I'm on the fence. I probably wouldn't bet that game just on its own. But, you look at Virginia hosting NC State, Virginia at home, a short favorite. Okay, it's a 4-point spread. I can see how somebody would be tempted to say, all right, give me TCU to win and give me Virginia to win. And there you go. And again, I'd say at most that's what I would keep it to is two teams. You start getting into 3 or 4 teams. And again, you're saying, oh, this team, they're a 14-point underdog. Give me a couple more points. I don't think there's any way they lose by 21. And it's college football. And if a team has a bad day, they can get beat by 30. So that's probably the biggest piece of advice. The teasers and the parlays where you're like, man, how does this lose? Right. And then inevitably, probably more often than not, it loses. And one of those things that you were really confident on ends up, the team that you were confident on that was a 7-point favorite, but you were a little bit nervous. They end up winning by 14 or 17. So I would just try to stick to one game and avoid the parlays. That's probably my biggest piece of advice.
Pat Boyle joining us. You can follow him on X at PatBoyle44. Host on BetMGM tonight, each and every night here on KFH, part of Westwood One Sports. Pat, I'll take you to this weekend. One thing, and I don't know much about these teams yet. I'm kind of with the masses on that. But what we do know is what happened in Dublin last year. We're well aware. We follow KState closely. They went and played Iowa State there, and the weather sucked, and it was ugly, and it was an awful start to the season kind of for both teams. So I kind of look at it this year, check the Dublin forecast. Looks like rain and clouds are in the forecast again. Dealing with that a little bit, 46.5 points. Maybe there's an underplay there. The travel's brutal. The weather looks like it's going to be bad. It's the first game of the season. It's hard to take a trend like that, I guess, because it's two totally different teams. But any merit, you think, to that kind of trip and weather to leaning itself to an under?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good play, Jacob, for sure. 100%. And this that total opened, by the way, at 49.5. So it has already been bet down to 46.5. So you have a lot of like-minded folks like yourself. Again, I'm not expecting much out of North Carolina's offense this year. Their defense better be a whole lot better. Otherwise, what the hell is Bill Belichick doing there, right? So again, they've got a new quarterback. The kid from Maryland the last couple of years is coming in to be the QB for North Carolina. TCU, a much more experienced team, but you're right. I mean, the travel and which offenses are in sync in week one when all you've done is play against your twos and your backups and practice teams. This isn't like the NFL. We don't have preseason games and joint practices. So yeah, you mix in the travel as well and some potential for bad weather, which, I mean, color me shocked if it rains in Ireland. Yeah, I think 46.5 is something we could look back on where North Carolina struggles to score 17 points. TCU maybe puts up 24, 27, and that's kind of exactly where you would land. So yeah, I think if there was one thing I would be betting in that game, North Carolina TCU, it would, on the total side, it would be the under for every reason that you just said.
Pat, for folks looking at this week 0 slate of games and looking to be like, where do I make my first bets of the season? And you see these numbers with USC and San Jose State, minus 39.5 for the Trojans. You got New Mexico State at Florida State, minus 31.5 for FSU. It seems like those are very tempting to take, but as a pro, how do you approach that when you see big numbers like that?
I generally try to stay away from them, because again, there is just so much unknown about a lot of these teams, and like who's kidding you if they say they know all about San Jose State? Nobody, right? If you're touching that number, if you think USC is going to win by 40 points, it's because you think that USC is going to put their foot on the pedal and they're not going to look back. And look, with a quarterback like Jaden Mayava and an experienced offense under Lincoln Riley, I could see it. Now, I happen to think USC is a bit overrated, but would you even find that out based off of them playing San Jose State in week 1? Probably not. But, again, you can potentially look back at some historical data to see how USC has fared in these types of games. They played Missouri State last year in week 1. They beat them by 60. They played Georgia Southern week 2, beat them by 39, but they gave up 20 points. That's something you probably wouldn't have expected Georgia Southern to put up 20 points on USC. The year before that, in 2024, they played LSU to start the year, and then week 2, I guess what you would consider somewhat of a cupcake game against Utah State, and they beat them 48-0. So again, San Jose State, a team that I'm not going to fool you and tell you that I know anything about. Going off of USC's past games where they play these easy opponents in week 1, they tend to do well. But, asking a college football team to win by 40, again, USC could be up 49-0 at the end of the third quarter, and then they're putting in a bunch of backups, and San Jose State maybe somehow finds a way to score 10 unanswered, and then all of a sudden, you basically lose on that. So, yeah, the big numbers I normally tend to avoid. If you're super confident that a team is going to put their foot on the pedal and not let up, then that would lead you to believe that USC can cover. Or if you are a college football junkie and you think, hey, San Jose State, man, look out. This team, they might surprise some folks in the Mountain West. Last year, a roster that went 3-9, but did play Texas in week 2 and only lost by 31. Okay. Maybe I'll have some fun. I'll put a couple of bucks on what are the Trojans? I think it's Trojan against Trojan. I don't know what San Jose State is, but yeah, I think most of the time I try to avoid those big numbers. I'd rather the games that are closer, where if you're on the right side, you're going to hit it, rather than you could, again, be so right about USC and they win by 37.
Pat Boyle with us, BetMGM tonight on Westwood One Sports each night here on KFH. Next week when we talk, Pat, we will have one NFL game to bet that will not have been played in a full slate of college football. So it's a good opportunity maybe to look at some of the futures of the NFL. Do you get involved in futures? We've had a couple out here that we're interested in. I'll lay a couple scenarios at you. Would you take the NFC West or the field this year? As in, do you think it is a good bet to bet anybody, or is the NFL more open than that this year?
I think the NFL is open, and I haven't made official predictions on my show yet. Those are coming next week, but I'm kind of thinking like after last year, Seahawks, Patriots, again, you probably would have been a millionaire if you said that's the Super Bowl in August. Credit to anybody that put like $20 on, predict the exact matchup, Seahawks, Patriots, because you probably had enough to pay off your mortgage for the year. But yeah, when it comes to this year, everybody's on the Rams, and with good reason, right? It's a team that went to the NFC title game last year. Matthew Stafford is the reigning MVP. It's essentially the same roster. And on top of that, they added Myles Garrett, and it looks inevitable that Aaron Donald is coming back. Again, but sky-high expectations like every year for the Ravens, and they missed the playoffs last year. Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I really like Joe Burrow and the Bengals this year. But again, you're asking somebody in Joe Burrow that's been hurt 3 out of his last 6 years, and he's missed significant time to stay healthy. And we've seen how many preseason injuries there have been already, not to quarterbacks, but to receivers and running backs. So, 1 or 2 injuries changes the complexion of a season. It's why I only usually tend to pick like 2 or 3 future bets before the season begins, just because there is so much unknown, and injuries you can't predict those. So yeah, look, the NFC West, you have the reigning Super Bowl champion Seahawks. I think they're going to be good. I think they'll make the playoffs. I would be very shocked if they somehow find a way back to the Super Bowl. The 49ers, another team that if they can stay healthy for the entire year, they've got a dangerous roster. And then you do have the Rams, which are the Super Bowl favorites. So NFC West versus the field, basically one of those 3 teams to win the Super Bowl. I think it's a decent proposition. It's not something that I would personally take because, again, not an official prediction yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards another team that has been banged up for the last couple of years, but when they're healthy, they are really damn good. I could see the Lions, that defense staying healthy this year, and them finally getting to the Super Bowl because I think Jared Goff is another list on those list of quarterbacks that are supremely underrated, just like we've seen with Sam Darnold, just like we've seen with quarterbacks in the last couple of years where you're like, oh, well, that's not a definitive top 5 quarterback, but they made the Super Bowl. So I could see the Lions doing it, but I can't blame anybody that thinks that, all right, even if it's not the Rams, the Seahawks could get back there, the 49ers could stay healthy. NFC West versus the field, decent proposition, not something that I would take, though.
Looking at futures and what could be Josh Allen as far as MVP odds, kind of the clear favorite, at least for DraftKings, plus 600. Then it's Lamar, and then Joe Burrow, who you mentioned after that. It sounds like you probably lean towards Joe Burrow if anybody was going to make a bet right now on NFL MVP.
Well, that is so that I said I usually take 2 or 3 futures bets per season, and the MVP is one that I will be putting $20 on, and I think Joe Burrow could be a finalist. I think he will be a finalist. I'm going with Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. Ooh. I know it's a long shot, and look, I mean, I don't blame anybody.
We both like Dak on that award, oddly enough.
And I don't blame anybody for taking Dak because even though you would think the Cowboys defense should be better, right? They can't be as bad as they've been the last few years. You never know. But if the Cowboys, if the Cowboys are going to be good, Dak's going to be good. He's going to be slinging it to CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be slinging it to George Pickens. It's 99% a quarterback's going to win the award. So if the Cowboys offense is, again, top 3 in the NFL, pretty good chance that Dak is going to be in that conversation. I think Jordan Love is going to win the MVP, more so just because I don't know, maybe I'm a Jordan Love fanboy. I've got so much stock in him. I'm a Giants fan, but I just look at him and all the throws he can make. And I just think, man, sooner or later, it's going to click. And I have my reservations about Matt LaFleur play calling in the playoffs. We saw it last year. They, that collapse against the Bears. But the receivers they have, who are also often banged up, well, he's got an all-pro caliber tight end in Tucker Kraft coming back this year, who tore his ACL in Week 7. He was having an awesome season. I really like the other receivers they have. I think Matthew Golden, who's going to be coming into year 2. I've heard nothing but great stuff about him. And then here's the other thing. The Josh Jacobs uncertainty right now. It's seeming like it's pretty damn likely that he's going to be suspended for a few games. Who knows? Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 8. Those charges and that arrest, that doesn't look good. It looks pretty damn brutal. So if Josh Jacobs, who's been a really good running back in the NFL for the last couple of years, gets suspended, let's say 4 to 6 games, that puts more of a reliance on Jordan Love to throw the football more and carry the Packers offense. And so I kind of like Jordan Love as a long shot to win the MVP already. And now with the possibility looking more like inevitability that Josh Jacobs gets suspended, I think that would lend more credence to the Packers having to throw the ball way more. And I think they're going to have a good season, win 11 or 12 games. And if Jordan Love can cross the 4,000-yard threshold and throw for at least 30 touchdowns, he's going to be in the conversation. So I can't blame anybody that thinks, hey, it's another year with Josh Allen, similar offense. He's going to carry them. Lamar, if he stays healthy, he's going to carry Baltimore. But I'm going Jordan Love at 20-1.
I generally don't have the patience for futures bets. That's why I don't like them very much.
Me too.
But I hear you. Here's one on the way out, Pat, that you can chew on a little bit. We follow the Chiefs closely. Man, they're everything they're showing us says run, run, run. And Ken Walker's explosive. An opportunity for an explosive running back if he stayed healthy to get more touches than he's ever had. I like Ken Walker as a long odds to lead the league in rushing. That's a future that I'm on that I like.
I like that one as well. And yeah, they definitely do want to run the football more because, their offensive line has struggled to protect Mahomes. I mean, it's no secret how average he's looked over the last 2 years. I think he's going to have a big bounce back season. I'm high on the Chiefs. I think they win the AFC West. I know the Broncos look as good as last year. I know Mike McDaniel coming into the Chargers revitalizes that offense and makes you feel good about Justin Herbert. But man, I just think when a lot of people doubting Patrick Mahomes, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. But yeah, Kenneth Walker III. That's a nice one, Jacob. I like the picks you've given out.
You get pretty good odds on it. Pat Boyle, you hear him each night right here on KFH. BetMGM tonight, part of the Westwood One Sports Network. We're looking forward to it. I will not be taking your advice on parlays and same-game parlays. I know I'm a sucker. I know why they advertise those the most and give me the big bonuses. But I'm a sucker in happiness, and I'll be taking them. Pat, next week, let's talk some ball. We've got the real start of college football. Appreciate you being here. Looking forward to these visits each and every week.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys. Nice appetizer this weekend. Enjoy it.
Here goes Pat Boyle. We're going to come right back on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. Getting ready to host their big member golf tournament. No other members invited me to be on their team, Brady, shockingly out there. I can't use my 21 handicap out there, but it's a huge event they have every year. The wining and dining and the golf, of course. Great opportunity to take advantage and look at some of the facilities out there and see all the cool things. Couple more weeks of pool life out there at Crestview. There are all the tennis courts, indoor, outdoor. It is such a massive and great facility. Good for the adults and for the kids. Go take a tour. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you from Sports Daily. Ask about all the different memberships. You'll be surprised at all the different options that they have for you. Thanks to Pat Boyle for stopping by. Good to hear from Pat there. Pat is really, really elevated his career there with Westwood One Sports now. You hear him all the time. We had a few times, I think, over the years, back in the past, working the Northeast swing there for Pat is going to be fun. He's a Giants fan. At some point, I'll remind him that I'm a Cowboys fan, and we'll talk a little trash throughout the course of the year. Next year, perhaps, next week, I should say, perhaps, as the Giants and Cowboys open up in week 1, Brady.
I should have told him that I passed on Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, yeah. Fantasy football.
Forgot about that.
That's true.
Oh, I have some news here, Jacob, by the way.
Wait.
Real
Is
quick.
this breaking news?
To me, it is, yes.
All right. Max, we've got breaking news. 2 times 1 show. Let's do it.
And some sad, unfortunate breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Boy, it's just been a week. Tim Curry, Dolly Parton. Now, for especially folks our age, Jacob, the voice of Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, has passed away at the age of 85.
They come in threes. Okay.
Yes.
Now, is this the new Transformer movies?
Well, he was, but he voiced the original 80s cartoons, and then he came back with the Michael Bay movies and voiced Optimus Prime in the movies as well.
Yeah,
so,
it's been tough. Curry
legend.
Yesterday, everyone, I didn't realize he was the clown in It, which I will not watch. I hate scary movies, so I've
I'm
still
not a horror
never
movie
seen,
guy either. Yeah.
nor will I ever see his fine work in the movie It. What I did see and what he is most endeared to me for was his work in Home Alone 2 as a hotel worker.
That's what I know him about. And I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I have too.
But Home Alone 2 for me is where I think of Tim Curry.
Like I see him and I'm like, oh
He was
man,
perfect.
he nailed that part so well. He's perfect. He's literally
That
perfect
smile
in that movie.
when he sees the credit card
He looks
stolen.
like the Grinch. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
You realize he had hit records too.
Tim Curry?
Yes. I Do the Rock.
Like as a
Working
singer?
on my tan. Yes.
I believe it. His voice
And
was
Time
awesome.
Warp, right out of
Time Warp.
Rocky
Oh, yeah.
Horror.
Yeah.
Um,
And a lot of voice work.
He has a good voice for it, but yeah, I think so.
But yeah, Optimus Prime, gone for real now. Remember in the 86 movie cartoon, Jacob, did you ever see that? I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's still the best Transformers movie that's ever been made.
Yeah,
But it's always funny watching documentaries or whatever and reading or hearing about people when they watched it when they were a kid in the theater and actually and Optimus Prime died, like how big of a blowback that was. Like kids were devastated when that happened. Does it on screen, but yeah, Peter Cullen, 85.
That is, it's been a week. It's been a week. I still can't legitimately believe we lost Dolly.
Yeah, that's still hard to think about and process. Because she was such an example, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, I think, but I think what has always been so endearing about her, whether you like country music or not, when it comes to the most ideal American story, right? Just the ideal come from nothing, incredible success story. And she was able to do that in America and have the freedom for her talent, to freedom as a businesswoman, to do all these things and build this empire that she built. And
yeah,
I mean, she gave back so much as well, but she was somebody who started from nothing. I mean, poor.
You want a perfect example of why America's best place in the world, Dolly Parton would be a good place to go. That's a good point.
Right. And she had all that wealth and success, and it didn't change her at all. Like, she didn't have any controversies or any, like, it was just
not that I know of.
Always
universally adored. That's right. Let's go to the KFH hotline, 869-1240. Stuart on the line. What's up, Stuart?
I've got a question. When do we stop labeling these athletes trying to come back to college as student athletes?
Say it again. As student, I lost you, Stuart. As student athletes, is that what you said?
Yeah. If Kevin Saul repeatedly represented student athletes, there's not a single one of those guys that's coming back to get an education. They're coming back to get paid and get free room and board and free meals. They're not students. They're professional athletes.
They have to enroll. So I think technically they're students. There are a lot of students on campus who don't go to class. So as far as calling them student athletes, that'll hold because they do have to enroll at the school. So they'll technically be students whether or not they go to class. But there's lots of students on campus that don't go to class, and we still call them students. I don't have any fallacies though. And to your point, Stuart, and it's good when we appreciate the call. You're 100% correct. The reason these players would come back is not to go to class. It would be to earn money. The reason a lot of the highest level athletes are in college is to play sports and now earn money. They're not as concerned about the education piece. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, though. There are tons and tons of, and in fact, more of the students on campus that are athletes that do want the education, that do want it. We're talking about a small percentage of athletes as a whole here. But I've always said this. I have always said the schools need to be doing more to educate the highest level athletes properly with the kind of education that will help them be the best professional athletes that they can be. I don't know that we do enough of that. What things can you give these young people? What skills can you teach them that help them make the best of their professional sports career? That stuff matters too. But I don't want to paint a broad stroke and say none of them are going to class and none of them are doing X, Y, or Z. Some of them aren't, sure. But I would also tell you, Stuart, since the beginning of time in college athletics, you want to go talk about some of the best players? They weren't going to class either. Well before student athletes were getting paid above the table.
I agree with that.
Appreciate it, Stuart. Always good stuff. Stuart, call back anytime, 869-1240. Always good stuff from Stuart. The phone lines are open. That's the other thing, Brady. We got to remind people as we go to this 3-hour live presentation of the show here as we march into the fall. Give us a call. It's a part of the show that, in the prior iteration was a little more difficult to do. Not anymore. We're live. You can call us. You can leave your comments with us. And we appreciate it. And we always bring good. Stuart just had great perspective on these guys coming back and their role on a campus in a university.
Definitely understand where he's coming from, just on the frustration.
It's a common sentiment. It's a common sentiment.
Like it feels so ridiculous sometimes. It just feels like, what are we doing Is this really about school and education in college? And
no, it's not always about school and education.
No, it's
in college.
not.
Absolutely
and it's
not.
been that way for a while. Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me that it's not. It doesn't bother me. The best. What was the greatest part of your college experience, Brady? Was it the education you received, would you say? Or was it the experience of being in college?
Yeah, it was just the overall experience.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, we chose professions where you got to kind of just get out there and do it more than be educated about it. There are very mission critical parts of the education that I received. I love where I went to school. I would put it up against anybody else in my industry's education as good or better. I would. I'd fight you to the death on that. But the real experience happens in the field. We're trying to prepare the young people the best we can to be equipped to deal with the real world, essentially. The great things about college, and I hope it still remains this way for a lot of these kids on campus, is you're young, you're dumb, you don't know what the hell you're doing about anything, and you're experiencing it with new and different people than you ever got to probably in high school, where, mostly people generally have similar backgrounds and everything. You get to college, man, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place.
That's what I loved about it.
Same. Do I think that spending the amount of money that people currently spend on college educations is worth it from a financial sense? Not in a lot of situations. Do I think from a perspective, from a social sense, from a life experience sense, is it worth it? Hell yeah, I do. I sure do.
You figure a lot out.
I hope these athletes are still getting that out of it, even if they are not going to class and being compensated for their time there. I hope they're still getting that experience, because to me, that's as valuable as anything that happens in college. Is you learn a little about life, you learn a little about different people, and it's cool.
Oh, it's so key. I mean, it's so key what you learn. I mean, all the most growing up I've ever did in my life was through my 20s and college years. I mean, because there's so much you got to figure out on your own.
Yeah. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. And sometimes you can kind of overdo it. Yeah. 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 Oh, a few more tidbits here, Jacob, on Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, who passed away. That announcement just coming out. I forgot about this. He was also Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh in those cartoons. He was that voice. He was Monterey Jack in Chippendale Rescue Rangers, if you remember that.
Monterey Jack. I've watched that. That's still out there on like Disney Plus or something. And I've watched that with my kids. I forgot how
great theme song. Chippendale. Yeah, that was so good.
The cartoons of that generation never missed on their theme songs. We've watched Tailspin and Darkwing Duck and all of them. Man, they're so good.
Darkwing Duck. And he was Carr, the voice of Carr in Knight Rider.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that should probably be played higher up in his obits. That's a big role.
Huge. And the voice of Mario in the original Donkey Kong animated series in the 80s.
I remember the Mario cartoon. I don't remember the Donkey Kong cartoon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It must not have went too long, but yeah, he for 80s kids, and I would say 90s kids, or, even kids who were seeing Transformers through the Michael Bay movies for the first time, a voice a lot of folks know, a lot of generations know.
We've lost a lot of great ones. Appreciate everybody for being here. Tomorrow, our final Friday before we dive in head first. High school football. We'll make picks. We'll have college games to pick. We'll even have an NFL game or two to pick next Friday. Looking forward to that with TJ and Paul back in. We'll have our pulls. We'll have our headlines. All kinds of fun on a Friday. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oztoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style brew that'll make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oztoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. Thank you to Pat Boyle, to Tim Fitzgerald, to Kevin Saul. You can hear them all on the Odyssey app. For Brady and Max, I'm Jacob. See you tomorrow.